Okay, I was going through all the gears over here. Alright, so we got our 18-tooth Harley racing style clutch gear. So that's this one. This here is the Andrews 26-tooth gear matching. So there's the Harley number for their stuff if they're available anymore. The light hurts that for looking at it. So that's the number for that one if you can see it. So that's the matching one for that. Then I have the Andrews second gear main shaft. So, which I don't really, I like the CCI ones better actually, but I don't have one. So we don't have the matching counter shaft second gear. We got to go find that. This is the third gear that we had here. This one's the one here. This is the CCI one here. So this has slightly finer, this is really nice smooth facing on the teeth here. So they're real grind, real smooth. So this one's a little bit better than this one. This one's ground, but it's slightly rougher than this one, so it's a little bit better quality. So I'll use the CCI one instead of that one. I didn't check the diameter yet, but that'll be the next thing I'll play with. This is obviously one of the Do Engineering ones here, which is your counter shaft third gear. That matches this. So we got the drive gears, we got the third gear, second gear we're working on, we have no low gear. So we need these two here, and then we need the 4-dog other one, which was up in the pile up over there. This one over here. 4-dog. We need one of these. That's the one that goes there. What we're missing. And I got to find all my washers, which are another problem. So I know where they used to be on the old shop. There's another group of these boxes that I saved for racing at the shop. But that stuff all wound up probably in storage, most likely. Which means I'm screwed. Alright, now these here are all late shafts because they have no hole through them. Early shafts have push rod holes through them. Oh, that is a push rod hole through there. Oh, missed that. See the hole going through? Get the light, we can see it maybe. I don't know. Right there, you can see the hole. Okay, so this is a K-model shaft. I thought I looked at them and they were solid. See, this one's a solid hole, didn't have anything through it. So see, that one's solid. And this one here is solid. Okay, so this is the only one I had that was for the flathead bike. They look very similar in length. So these are brand new shafts that I had special ground down back in the day, when we had access to people that knew how to do stuff. Okay, so now we got this one here. And we got this one here. This one's more rusty, so we're going to use this one. Yeah, they're both rusty. Yeah, they're both rusty. So when you lay them together, they look almost identical. The only difference I see is the early shaft is a little bit longer out here. These are a little shorter. That's it. They look the same other than that. That's the only difference. So, plus it's got a hole through it for a push rod. So like I said, this is early. Okay, so these two here, which one has the most rust? I don't know. Doesn't really matter, there's no real, the only bearing area is right here. That's a bush in here, and that's a ball bearing out here. So these were never sprayed down for keeping it from rusting. So. Alright, so this one's in first, we'll use this one, they're all the same. Okay, so these have been modified by turning the OD down here. So instead of being 1 inch, they are 984, which is metric. So if you change this over to metric, come back and measure it, it's 25 millimeter. A little bit under that for clearance. stock is 1 inch. So this fits right into my ball bearing over here. That one right there. Boom. Self-aligning. See how I can move this no problem? I can spin it over here, I can spin it over there, I can spin it straight. It doesn't matter where you're at, it'll spin. So, alright, so that is the main shaft. Obviously it's not torn up like that one. I'm going to have to be careful about my clearance on that also. Now the next thing that was done on this was this here shaft is shortened. And you can also see they ground a radius into it. Now hopefully they didn't cut this diameter down too bad. I did not measure that yet. 748. 748. 749. 48 and a half there at the end. And this one is 749 and a half. So they ground this down a little bit. You can see how it looks like it's been ground all the way across the surface. They didn't really need to do that, but they did it. Oh well, give me a little extra clearance. So they put a radius in here and they shortened it up by about 50 thou, I think. So that means all my dogs now are close together by that amount. So that means instead of being a big gap in between like Harley like that, they're right up against each other, like maybe that far apart. So when you go to shift it, it barely moves in. And the good part is when you engage it, it goes in deeper. See, that goes in real deep like that instead of being out like this. So the more engagement you got, the less chance of pulling out of gear on you. So that's what I do on that. Now these have that in the background to make them shift quicker. These are still flat looking. Yeah, so you can go in there and play with these ramps. These are all flat. So you want to make them shift in quick, you go back and background these things at an angle like this. Either this way, depending on which way the drive side is. So you can see how this one's straight, this one's angled. So that's the drive. So you would back cut it at an angle right here. So you leave about, you know, whatever you want to do out here. About no more than 100 thou, 1/16 of an inch maybe. And you come in there and grind this thing at an angle. And then when it drops in, it doesn't have to get right here before it drops. It can start going down like a screw thread and lead it in and drop halfway in before you even get to there. So that's what you do to modify them for racing. I'm surprised the Andrew that wasn't done on it. I know they do it on some of their gears. Like I said, these are pretty old, so maybe it's something they might do now or not. I don't know. All I know is that one is not done. So it looks like I got a brand new chain I'm going to put in there for the hell of it. Doesn't hurt to cycle chains through. But, alright, so I can go find me some more parts here. So I'm going to go find that counter shaft up there also. So I need another gear. This was an Andrews gear here. See the gear ratio right there. So that was an Andrews. Now if I can't find anything, I can reuse, you know, these aren't broken yet, but you want to cycle your parts out before they break. And I know I've been abusing it pretty good on my low gear on this bike. Now the reason I think third gear broke is because the shafts are bent and the teeth, just like I said before, they come in on engagement and finally they snapped off. I did not know they were bent like that, so because that counter shaft is a joke on how bad it's bent. It's terrible. So I might be able to modify one of these here and use one of these instead of doing the full racing one. I'm still 50-50 if I want to put that new one in there. I really don't want to, but I do have one left. Like I said, these are unattainium anymore pretty much. Unless you really want to spend a lot of money. Alright, so I'm going to go upstairs and find some parts.